The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. Oh no, they can't take that away from me. The way your smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams. No, no, they can't take that away from me. We may never, never meet again on the bumpy road to love, but I'll always, always keep the memory of the way you hold your knife, the way we danced till 3, the way you've changed my life. No, no, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away from me.
Well, let's look at the notebook and get into some specifics about it. Just get it too.
Those pictures.
All those pictures. Do they represent any particular person, or just or what? The sketches of all those glamorous people.
Well, knowing me, I don't think so. I think, see, when I paint now, like that painting up there and that painting, that's just out of my mind.
Okay.
I sketch that way.
Okay.
I just think when I'm drawing like that. And here we are.
Yeah, that one of the covered bridge. And we actually have covered bridges where we live.
Do you?
And there's still some in use with county roads through them.
Off over in Indiana, they have them, and we used to go over there and take the kids over to this one little creek that had rocks to slide down. So I came home one day and I just thought, I'm going to paint me a covered bridge. And
If you want real fun, try getting a nervous horse to go through when it
Oh, when they hear
the
that
hound
with the
the
hooves.
echoing. Doesn't seem a bit
Oh.
safe.
Let's look at this. The first page where you've got the notes of what you heard from Amelia. The one that, let's see, that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've already decided that the stuff over on the left, of course, is added
Yeah.
years later.
Yeah.
Looking at that page, what would you say was the first thing that you wrote down on that page?
Help me. I
Okay.
heard help me quite a number of times. And then, and I don't know, I put howl and port. I think that's what she said.
Do the letters, numbers?
The
there-
W4, okay. No, it's just like somebody would be saying it. But it was scratchy just a little, you know, that. And when I couldn't make out something, I'd put what I thought it was, and then or maybe it was WOJ. Because W40K and WOJ on a, like
Right.
with the scanner,
Now
it's different.
this could be important. There are lots of different ways you can read that W4OK. You could read it W4OK, W40K, W40K. Do you remember which one?
Oh, yeah, like, huh. Right now I can't remember, but like I say, what I heard her say, I put down what I thought she said.
How sure are you that this was said in by the woman, by Amelia, rather than the man's voice?
I don't know. I can't remember now, but I know it was her that said water's high, because I can
Okay.
remember her describing it, you know, like she was trying to tell people what was happening to her. I think this was Amelia.
The W4OK.
I think it was.
What about the what's written above there?
That 44 Northeast
Okay.
would have been just 44 Northeast. That would have been,
That looks.
see, right above there is when she was telling that she was Amelia
Mhm.
Earhart and frantic, you know, and like that. So I imagine the Help Me was the first I heard, and then this 44 Northeast and the Highland Port was next.
What about the 158 up above?
Well, that was all part of that. I've got miles. The 158, I would have heard pretty clear the miles. Sometimes if it would be numbers and letters and stuff, I would put them down together. That could have been 158 and then some stuff and then miles. But if I put miles down, that's my way of abbreviating miles.
Mm-hmm.
But whether it was altogether 158 miles, that I don't know.
Now, looking at the rest of the page, you've got sometimes a whole phrase, sometimes just a word on each line.
That was the word that I could hear pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
There might be words before it or after it, those words and stuff, but that would come out as more clear. And sometimes when I would hear those, clear words, I still would have to put down what I thought it was, not what it might have been. It's just,
Okay, tell me if I've got this wrong. What I understand you to be saying is that when I see something in here like water's high, what you were actually hearing might go something like this. Water's high.
yeah, sometimes that happened.
And so you would write down the part that you would understand.
I would write down the part of that.
And then skip to the next line when the next thing happened. Okay. Now.
And now sometimes too, Rick, when more conversation had gone on about something, it would be so interesting that you'd start to hear, and I would just write down, but when the water's high, her voice was, you know, I can't put the voice down there, but I can remember hearing the sound. She may have said more to that water's high.
And you may have understood more than that, but
I understood more than I put down here. And
so these truly are just notes of a much more in-depth conversation.
And like this Amelia Putman, the thing that was different was the Putman. So while I was writing fast, because see, I've got these marks here, she said that so many times that she could have been saying Amelia Earhart Putman, and even said more about it. And I was just like that.
Yeah. Now, describe, if you can, the nature of the sound that you were hearing. I'm already assuming that you didn't hear it just like you'd hear it as if it was a radio show. What did it sound like?
Well, okay, I put it like when you're listening to the scanner. When voices come over anything like that, you can hear, but some words are clear and some words aren't. It's a, I put it scratchy. It's like a staticky maybe, or like that, and then it goes and louder, and you know, you get the, sometimes something comes through pretty loud, and then other times it comes through, you can hear the voice, you can tell what they're saying, but then there's a kind of a scratchy sound like there is in a scanner.
There would be periods of silence in here?
Yeah.
How long would those periods of silence be?
Come and go. Like I'd sit and wait, you know, and then it'd be another, and I'd just start writing. And but over all those hours, there wasn't too many real long waits like it was at the last one. I was waiting to hear and didn't hear anymore. Fading, a lot of fading type of stuff.
There are different things that can happen to radio signals that cause different effects in what you hear. And sometimes the signal will be very faint and then gradually get louder until you hear it okay, and then it'll gradually fade away, like a wave or something. Other times it'll just come in, all of a sudden you're hearing it quite clearly, and then it'll fade away.
Yeah, that's more.
That's more like? Okay. That helps us, believe it or not.
Does it?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
My memory of it, too, on that. It's because I can remember the startling thing of getting ready to write, because it would come in.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So when she came back on, it would surprise you.
Yeah.
It wasn't that, oh, I'm getting her again and I'm ready to write when as soon as I understand something.
No,
Okay.
it
All
was-
right. All right. That helps. Okay. I'd like you to go down the page and read the entries you've made here the way you remember them being said. Let's start with the water's high.
Okay. Okay. After she said this Highland Port area up there, and then the water is high and some stuff about it, and it was like she was telling him that the radio, it was working. She thought she'd heard somebody. Okay, she said to him, "Here, put your ear to it." And then she started in again on this Amelia Putman stuff. And then several times she said SOS. And then he started wanting to get onto the radio. And I don't know, I can't remember whether he said Amelia or she said, "This is Amelia Earhart again," or what. But anyway, I've got Amelia down there.
What was?
But I think it was,
stop?
it's memory back with this. I'm pretty sure that's when he started.
Who said stop?
I think Amelia said stop.
As if she was talking to him?
Yeah, if she was trying to keep him from getting on the radio. She fought him off quite a lot of times through all this.
Were both voices equally clear on the radio?
No. Sometimes he would be real loud, and his would come over, you could hear him. Other times you couldn't hear him. You could hear him, but you couldn't make out what he was saying. But you could tell that she was trying to keep him away from the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And, but this uncle, it was something about an uncle, but it was him.
It was him talking about it.
If I remember right, and I think I do on that, because she was crying, and that's when she got back on.
Now, let me go back to Uncle for a little bit. There's been some speculation, people wondering if what was actually said was ankle rather than uncle, like somebody was complaining about that.
Because uncle didn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
So, but that's what I heard that word.
Okay, all right. And then you've got notations here that she's crying.
And then she's the one that said, "Help us quick." And then
Any idea who said "I can feel it"?
if I remember right, that area right in there was him. But they come here just a moment. That's when she started trying to get him to stay into the cabin. So, the I can feel it though. The help us quick is hers. I can feel it.
What impression? You had the impression that there was something wrong with him?
Yeah.
Some injury?
But not as much right then, though, as I did later on.
Okay.
And the Bob, I have no idea for sure, except I think it was him.
Let's go over to the next page. Now, I noticed that you're only writing on the right-hand facing pages. Whereas in the rest of the book, you use both sides of the page.
Well, I thought with hers, I wanted it to be so that I could read it.
Uh-huh.
It's easier for me to write this way,
Yeah.
holding the book, than it is to try to write on
Yeah,
here.
sure.
So I just automatically wrote there.
Okay.
And I knew it was important enough that I wanted to be able to read what I would write in a
Okay.
hurry.
What's the first thing you think you wrote on this page?
The 5/8 again. It could have been 158, but anyway, the 5/8 and the 338. And she seemed to be saying, yeah, in that part, she seemed to be saying that she knew where she was, and she was given to, you know, anybody, like, she didn't say this, but like anybody hearing me, please get this to somebody to get us help. We need it, you know, that type of thing.
Okay.
Now this right in here, he had it, hear it, and help, I need air, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that was him.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it would be him so quick, it would be her and him both, and I'd write down what I heard.
Mm-hmm. I notice on the line right below, I need air, what you wrote was a melig.
I was I was pretty shook.
Okay.
Now that might have been Amelia and something else in there, and to me,
It just ran together.
It just ran together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because right in there was where it was very definite that he was out of his head for the head injury, and his head was hurting, and like that.
Now you've mentioned that before. Nowhere in your notes does it say anything about a head, but that's that definite impression you've got.
Well, because of her in that day and that time, he was injured some way in his head, and he was out of his head a lot of the time.
Hmm. The notation over on the side in brackets, this was man with her talking sometime too.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when that was written in?
Well, I imagine that was the same time as when I wrote this other later on for the kids.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That
An explanation.
that I wanted Danny if he took this book and
Okay,
everything.
all right.
That, for him to know that.
Okay, so that's a later edition. All right. Here I come. Oh. Let me out of here. That would be him.
Yeah.
Any impression why he wanted to get out of there?
Because he was hot and hurt and he was out of his head. I mean, you could tell by his voice that he said things that didn't make sense. Some of that stuff I didn't maybe write down, but if you heard him, you would have known that.
You sound like he was drunk?
That I can't say. I'd say more like that he was hurting.
Okay. Let me add a different suffer. That line is a little different than the others because phrases like Amelia, things are, here I come, oh, let me out of here. Those are all like snapshots out of a sentence that you might be able to get. Different suffer is hard to put in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah. Well,
I'm asking you to explain things 63 years ago, and you know,
well, some of it's really, it was so unusual. The different, I'm not sure of. But there was times when she would say, I know you're suffering. Suffering.
Okay.
So at that time, it was one of the times that they'd had around, you know, like they had of him trying to get out and her not wanting him to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And like that. And
Take it away, Howland seems like a strange thing to say.
yeah, that in New York, and that could have been one of the times that he was on. I'm not sure, but I kind of remember. That's the kind of stuff he would say that didn't make sense. A lot of times when you get the feeling that he was suffering. Yeah, because that's when he took over, because he's the one that said, Mary, Mary. And he could have possibly said the "oh, if they could hear me." She said it a lot of times too. But that's pretty much all him.
You think the New York might be him too?
I think so. Because it's right there with the Marie, and it's right under the Marie. So I think that was.
Let me ask you something, and if. And it's okay any way you want to answer it, because you know I'm just opening up a possibility. If somebody said New York City, might you have written down New York, New York? Or would you have written down New York City?
No, probably New York, New York. If I was. If I was in a hurry, I could have. See, New York to me, especially in those days, wasn't New York, it was just New York City. I mean, that's all you thought about.
Okay.
You weren't interested in Rochester or
Yeah.
any place like that.
It just, New York
It was a
wasn't
city.
really a state. It was just,
So when you're writing down N period, Y period, N period, Y period, it's at least possible that what you were hearing was New York City.
could have been.
Okay.
Because right in there, whenever he was on there, you had to, since a lot of the stuff that he said didn't make sense exactly, you had to write fast, and there wasn't any low spots or anything. It was just like that. His voice, when he actually was on that radio, was a lot clearer than hers.
Why?
Deeper. And he was more agitated even than her. I mean, he was... Well, they were both shouting a lot of times, you know, making their voice high and to be heard. But his voice came through a little better.
Any background noise of any kind?
Not that I can remember.
Okay. The last entry on that page is "It's going." Any idea of what they were referring to?
Let's see. No, but I think he's the one that said it. Because
Okay.
he was still on.
Okay, go on to the next page. The first entry up at the top of the page, since 4:30. What does that mean?
Well, I would say offhand now that all of a sudden I looked up at a clock and realized that it's been going on since 4:30. Now, I must have remembered that I heard it at 4:30. And when I did that, 5:10 was what the clock said, and I put it down.
Okay. Airport. This is a horrible thing to do to
No.
somebody, you know.
That's all right. I just have to think back and of what was going on between the two of them, and like that to bring it out. But
How often over the years have you been back and really looked at this notebook carefully and thought about it?
oh, quite a few times.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I kept it in my desk and secretary, either one. It's been in that. The airport, he was talking, pretty sure. I was trying to think of some of the things that, you know, that he said when he was on, and okay, I can't bring back right now what the airport meant. But he was still on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still on. Now the where are you? My memory of this is back to Amelia saying, where are you? And there could have been quite a space here from the O, you know. And him saying, let me out. Because that's what would happen a lot of times. She'd be on, but you would hear him. But what was going on was that he was, like I say, he was going to get out of there. And you would hear her talking to get him back, you know. It was a commanding to get him back because she was on the radio and couldn't leave it.
Do you have any impression about where they were when all this was going on? In the airplane, but what part of the airplane, or?
I could be wrong, but I had a feeling of the middle, but I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. Are they in a roomy space, a cramped space? Based on what you can hear.
Yeah. I felt like it would. I felt like it was maybe that I don't know, but I felt like it was a space where it was hard for her to get away from a radio. And they'd wrestle around when he would try to get on. And sometimes I'd say to hear it, it was a pretty good sized space.
And when he says "let me out,"
Yeah, he wanted to get out.
okay,
It was
so
like
so what?
he would go something. He would go in the airplane, like he would go to where they would normally get out of the plane, and he was going to get out.
Yeah.
And then she would get him back. So it was a movement.
Yeah. "Let me out" implies that she was stopping him in some way.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that she was physically stopping him.
Oh yeah. There was a
like you're actually wrestling.
Yeah, there was that definitely in that when I said, and you got the feeling that she was trying to keep the microphone maybe at the same time she was trying to make him do stuff.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any knowledge yourself, Betty, of what the inside of that airplane looked like?
No, not any.
You know what doors it had on it?
No, I don't.
All right. "Where are you going? We can't bail out." Who can't bail? I mean, who says we can't bail out?
She did.
She's talking to him.
Yeah. She's saying, "Where are you going?" That's her, you know, talking.
Mm-hmm.
And after Marie up here in the O, it was like he was gone somewhere, and she couldn't see him, so she said, "Where are you?" And then he came up around her again and said, let me out." Now, And then she's the one that always talked about the water until I think the last part over here somewhere. Then I think he talked about it too.
Who says, oh, oh, ouch?
I always thought she said it.
Okay. Are you so scared? Is that a question?
No, it's more. My memory of it is it was more like, I know you're scared. Are you so scared? You know. Sometimes there would be just talk. I mean, and then they'd start in on the radio stuff again. I mean, they'd be on the radio, she would be, but they'd just talk. And then she'd start, or he would start. And that right in there, and the hello, Bud and Amelia.
These times when they're just talking, not actually on the radio, the talking is, would you characterize it as conversation, argument, yelling at each other, high emotion, not much emotion? How would you?
I would put it for her like a resignation. Just I've got to get some normalcy here. That type of a feeling that you'd get from her. And then with him, he was so uncomfortable and so miserable that they would just talk, and then he would kind of get out of his head again.
Okay, a little bit further down here, the character of the notations changes quite a bit from what we've had before, which is back and forth, to series of numbers. Now, was this the first time that numbers like this were said, or the first time you had copied them down?
No, this was the first time. This area right in here was like either she had or he had realized for the first time that she'd been wrong. Now, I wrote down just what I heard. It didn't make any sense, but I kept writing it down, just like I heard. Now, some of the stuff that I heard, what I wrote down, would have had more to it, but I was writing pretty fast. But this seemed to be like her this part up here was like they just talked. I mean, and then I'd say from the when they talked about being scared and like that, and then whatever she did, it seemed to mean something to her, and she really was definite.
This was really trying to get information out.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was definite, like she had done something and realized something that was different, and she really was emphatic with this.
That third line up from the bottom of the page.
The figure 8.
Yeah. Is that what that is? Is that...
That could be anything. To me, it sounded like figure 8.
Hmm.
But I just put FIG.
Okay. But FIG stood for something that sounded like figure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm assuming that at the end there it's Z or E. Those are Z's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a break and change batteries.
Okay, we're going to take a break and change batteries.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we've got this whole bunch of numbers down at the bottom of that page. How would you interpret those numbers on the bottom, on the last line? What's that first thing?
It looks like to me, it looks like a Z.
Okay. So
But
Z,
up here, I got Z or E, so it probably could have sounded like either one to me. And I just put down Z.
now you've got these strings of numbers where you've got numbers close together, like that last string in the string up above. Do you recall if those were said as strings of numbers all at once, bang, 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 or not? Do you remember her saying strings of numbers that you had to hurry and copy down a string of numbers?
Well, I had to hurry and copy down all of this because she was real excited. And I imagine that they were all, one after another.
So what else?
I don't think, the way I wrote it down, I doubt if there was, now like these others, I left a space.
Yeah.
Well, those could have been spaced out, but when I wrote them like that, I think they were pretty much all.
So, not that this is what happened, but say she picked up something that she hadn't picked up before, and it had information on it that, here's something here,
Yeah.
listen to this, and she
Yeah,
reads it out.
this whole thing, it was
Yeah.
like it was something that hadn't been done before.
Okay. All right. Now, over to the side, you've got S309, and so what's that?
Well, that was at the same time these numbers were done.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like that the reason I put it off to the side was like that she had said, I can't really remember, Rick, but it seemed like that was something special. And
It looks like an attempt to interpret the numbers. But they don't match up exactly. I'll also point out that on the previous page, you have a comment in brackets off to the side, written at an angle, that you said was written much later.
oh,
Previous page.
this.
That was written much later.
This was written, I think, if I remember back right, this was written when I figured that later on in life Danny
Right.
would probably.
But it's written at an angle to the lines, and it's enclosed in brackets.
Mm-hmm.
This thing on the page we're talking about is also written at an angle to the lines and enclosed in brackets. Now,
Right.
they were both written by you, and they were years apart.
Yeah.
But I'm just pointing that out. But your impression.
I bracket things.
Okay. There's a question mark there too.
Uh-huh. Well, the question mark, I tell you, was from, see, sometimes when I make a 0, I make a straight line. So up here, I made a straight line. But through the years, I wondered if I should have made a circle, if that meant anything, because this seemed to be something special to her. And that's why I bracketed it.
Okay. Would this have been an entry then on this page that came after the last line and you were out of lines and that's why you put it up?
That's it. And that's the thing that seemed to be, I bracketed it because this seemed to be important to her.
Okay. All right.
If that.
All right.
Uh-huh.
All right.
But the question mark was because of the 0 and the thing. I think it could have been because I thought they should both be 0s, or I thought they both should be just a dot.
Do you know what a little 0 means written there?
Well, now on some things it means a degree.
Mm-hmm.
On other things, if you run out of room, you come in 1650.
I see.
So that would be the reason for that.
Mm-hmm. But if somebody had said, for example, 309 degrees, might you have written a little circle to mean degrees?
I could have, because I'll dash a lot of times as this circle for the and
Are you familiar with latitude and longitude?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't know that it was what that had anything to do with longitude and latitude or anything. But I think when John saw it, it meant something to him like that.
Okay. But you're quite sure that that was written back at the time?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, let's go to the next page. Again, we have what seem to be time notations up at the top.
Yeah, 5:30.
What would the 1 hour? So 5:30 would be what?
5:30 would be 1 hour from the 4:30. See,
So-
on the 4:30, it was. I've been since 4:30, but at that time it was 5:10. But
Okay.
over here it's 5:30.
Now it's 5:30,
Uh-huh.
and you've made a notation
It's
that this
an
has all
hour.
been going on for an hour.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Incidentally, when you first talked to us, you had thought that this started around 3 o'clock. I looked at all this and looked at those notations and reached the same conclusion you just reached. That this started at 4:30 and that these. So you and I are in agreement about
Okay.
this. Okay.
It's like I say, some things come back,
Sure.
real good to me, and other things I have to think on, and then if I read several lines, then it'll come back to me. And
So we got to hurry,
yeah,
and then we got. Is that 3.15?
it could be a 3 and later a 15, or it could be 315, and I started.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense that it would be a dot used as a dot.
Mhm.
Because it's up in the middle. If I was going to dot something, I'd have dotted it down below that dot.
Okay. Are you there, Fuzzy? What's that mean?
Well, my understanding now of it is that there were times when she thought she heard something from somebody. That might have been one of the times that, you know, are you there? Trying to get them,
Okay.
and it was fuzzy for me to hear.
Okay.
And the hear from me, are you there? Do you hear from me? Do you hear from me? You know, stuff
Okay.
like that. And that's when she said, tell my husband George to get the suitcase in my closet in California.
Okay. Now you've added quite a bit to what's what it says here is George, get the suitcase in my closet, California.
Mm-hmm.
But what you just said is tell my husband George.
Mm-hmm. To get
That is that what you remember her saying?
Yeah, tell my husband George, you know, like if you hear from me, like if anybody can hear from me, tell my husband George to get the suitcase out of my closet in California. Like there was something in that suitcase that she wanted him to find.
Have I talked to you about this passage? Did we talk about this on the phone?
Don't think so.
Okay.
We could have. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we did.
I think I asked you if you knew what Amelia's husband's name was.
I tell you, no, I don't. But I remember talking about the suitcase in my closet
Okay.
part. I don't think.
Do you know where Earhart and her husband lived at the time of?
I might have at the time, but I don't. I don't remember even later on remembering where she lived.
Okay.
I thought she was from New York, though, wasn't she?
Putnam was from New York, and she lived with him. They had a house in New York for a while, but then they moved to California.
Back then, I think my memory reading this, you know, through the years was that he was from New York,
Mhm.
and that's why I had the New York down or something.
Mm.
But
Are you Marie Hay? Every once in a while in here, you'll punctuate something. There's an exclamation point after Hay.
because one or the other would yell at. Whenever I put an exclamation, that's when something came through real, hey, you know, type of a thing.
Okay.
And so I would punctuate.
Mm-hmm.
And this was him talking.
Okay.
Who said the hey, I don't know. But I remember that he was always on when it was Marie.
Mm-hmm.
Mary. And I even spelled Earhart wrong.
Yeah. Who said watch that battery?
I think it was her.
And then who said what did you tell me to do?
Okay. Up at Amelia Earhart. That's her on there again.
Mm-hmm.
Saying the same thing over again.
Mhm.
Can you hear me? This is Amelia Earhart. Hey, watch that battery. I think Amelia, because she was worried about that battery you know, several times that I didn't write down, I guess. Maybe I've got it in here. But
Any idea why she? What was it about the battery she was worried about?
well, my memory of what it was is like the battery was in a different place. Like it's something about the battery was, when you're going by it or you were...
Okay, so she's like worried that somebody's going to kick it.
Yeah, something was going to hit that battery.
Okay, all right. It's not so much like she's watching a level on a meter.
No.
No. It's
No,
it's a
was-
physical.
Don't kick it.
Yeah, it was like, you know, with him...
Hey, watch that battery.
Yeah, that type of thing. And like, he seemed to be thrashing out in the plane. You know, I mean, he didn't make sense a lot of times, but you could feel like he was banging, stuff like that. And she was afraid that he was going to knock the battery, I'd say. I may be wrong on that, but that's the feeling I got, was like that battery was in a tender place.
Okay, all right.
And this, what did you tell me to do? The SOS always was with her.
Okay.
Her voice would be the one to say that. And whether she was trying to do something with the battery, that part there is, it was like, can you help me get that battery right? All this right in here seemed to be her trying to talk and trying to keep the battery doing something.
Okay. What's that say, the last line at the bottom?
All right.
It's all right.
Uh-huh.
And again, exclamation. That almost sounds like an argument. Will you help me? Will you please? All right.
Yeah,
That
it's just,
kind
that's the way that those two would come over a lot of the time. It would just, you could almost feel that you were, like if you'd hear the neighbors, you could almost
Yeah.
feel like you were
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, at that time, I thought it was real cute to make my R's like my grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Yes. that's
So
a-
my R's, and so what it looks like all night or something is all right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, I've read things
Uh-huh.
that my father's mother wrote, and she was born in the 1880s. And,
Uh-huh.
you know, that's the way she was taught to.
And Grandma, it was so pretty.
Yeah,
So I
it's a very
started
graceful hand. Yeah.
like that.
You probably went through the bit of putting little circles over your eyes,
Uh-huh.
too.
Yeah. Oh,
Girls did
Okay.
those.
Now
do
we're
those
on, the,
things.
we're on the last page, which I guess starts at 6 o'clock, right?
and it ended at 6:15.
Okay. So this page represents 15 minutes worth of. Okay, and this flows from before. Will you help me? Will you please? All right. What are you doing? So we still got the neighbors arguing
Yeah.
here.
So, and she finally got back on the radio again. And the Amelia here is, you know, the Amelia Earhart
Okay.
thing
This
that
is
she would keep coming back
This
in.
is Amelia
this is
Earhart.
this Amelia here, right?
Uh-huh.
Quick.
You know, the 3QRD 36, the 3QRD came, and then there's a space there. So when there's a space and then the 36 could be the next one I hear loud. And J3, anything that I put down like a J or like that, It's however I heard it to me,
Mm-hmm.
which could be
Yeah.
something else.
Are you familiar with something called a Q code?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so.
All right. And there's something else I was going to ask about. Oh, did you know then? Do you know now the phonetic alphabet? Ever hear of a phonetic alphabet?
Well, let me think. Phonics type
Yeah.
of an alphabet?
And instead of saying ABC, saying Alpha,
Uh-huh.
Bravo, Charlie.
Oh. Oh, now, yeah. Charlie.
Abel, Baker, Charlie, Easy, Fox, Dog.
No, but the Charlie
Yeah.
thing, the one you said just before Charlie that time?
Abel, Baker, Charlie.
Baker, Charlie.
Yeah.
I've heard that, what it is.
Okay.
That's a phonics?
Yeah, it's a phonetic alphabet. It's
Uh-huh.
just a way of if you're saying letters over the radio and you want to be sure somebody hears you correctly. For example, if I've got an airplane and its call number is 53Q, I want to make sure nobody thinks I'm saying 532, so I say 53 Quebec.
Oh, well, that's,
Yeah,
see.
because that's the standard. Q is Quebec,
Oh,
you know, and it's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Echo, Delta, Fox. I mean, it goes. You know. All right, but I just wanted to check.
yeah.
If you knew that. Let me out. I guess that's him again, right?
Let's see. Read it quick. But yeah, it's him again. And
Now
that's
it's
her again.
with numbers.
Uh-huh. And her again with the knee deep over. It's getting over now. It's getting over.
Okay.
And of course, she's fighting him off again,
Mm-hmm.
and he can't make it. Then she's on again.
The huh.
And
Is
then
that a question or?
well, with those numbers there, I think that's still her.
It's funny.
And she can't find him again.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know. When she can't seem to find him, I don't understand it. But it's like he's trying to get out
Mm-hmm.
at those times.
Okay.
And then something happens and she starts to give another SOS thing, and something happens, and then she starts cussing. Well, in those days, darn was a cuss word to me. I mean,
Okay.
it was more than darn. But it was like something really aggravating seriously had happened.
Was it like she was in pain or just frustrated that something?
Well, it was like she was getting stuff together. And darn, don't, you know, that type of
Remember
thing.
any specifics about what she said? We're all friends here.
Yeah. If I could remember. Well, my memory is goddamn son of a bitch.
Okay.
Said in really
Mm-hmm.
Emphatically?
emphatically.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn son of a bitch.
Did
Like
it?
that.
Was it like the sort of thing that, you know, somebody drops something really heavy on their foot and it hurts a lot, or was it much more, or was it more the sort of thing
I've
where
got all these things piled up and
I
they've
mean,
slipped.
I just
and
Mm-hmm.
can't handle it.
It was It was like something had happened suddenly,
Mm-hmm.
and like if you were in a hurry,
Mm-hmm.
and you had one hand with a microphone, and you were trying to do other stuff, and all of a sudden
It all falls.
falls to something, and you just,
It's one too many things.
yeah. And so
Been
I
there.
put down darn because
That was
I
what was
wanted to
acceptable.
remember,
Yeah.
but it was like the goddamn son of a bitch
Yeah.
thing that happened to her. That was
Yeah,
the,
it's sort of really
Uh-huh.
at the end of her
it
rope.
wasn't real dirty cuss words,
Mhm.
but it was a string of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then now I've got the New York, or something that sounded like New York. Well, I put that or something that sounded like New York down later.
Okay.
I think that might have been, because that was towards the last there, that I might have put that down for Danny
Mm-hmm.
when I put that other stuff down.
So you're crossing your T's differently.
Am I?
And,
Mhm.
yeah, in that. Look up at I can't make it in the middle of the page.
Uh-huh.
Look at your T's up
Yeah,
there.
that's a pretty tea like Grandma made.
Mhm.
Yep. And now you're just crossing them.
Because I was never really sure of the New York.
But it sounded.
But it was something that
That's a-
sounded to me like that. So, and
There are only two things in this whole series of notes that, in the notes themselves, you have doubt about what you heard. One is the W40K, which might have also been WOJ, which I think knocks out the W40K, because you can't mistake W40K for WOJ. That's different sound completely.
I think, yeah. But it could be W40K or
W40K.
W40K or WOJ.
Yeah.
like I say, a lot of those things, when I'm on the scanner,
Mm-hmm.
when one of the cops calls back into the dispatcher, you think when he first calls in that you've heard a certain
Mhm.
thing, but when they get to talking,
Mm-hmm.
it could sound like what you thought you heard, but when it's real plain again, then it's different from what you thought you heard.
You know what ham radio is?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had any contact with ham radio operators?
No, Toby was going to put one in here one time, but it began to cost too much, and so he got the wire stuff, but I don't think he ever got the ham radio in,
Okay.
because it was going to go.
Well, to be a ham radio, you have to get a license.
So
And
he was going to do the thing, but then it
Just
never, and I don't think he ever put one on out at the farm.
well, we're going to look at one other page here. We'll find it for you. Okay. This page over here. Now we talked about how you went back, and if you were waiting, if the signals went away for a while, you would go back and work on a drawing. Now up at the top, you see
Yeah.
KGMB written in all capitals. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah. See, a lot of times when I was on one page of this book, like this Oh Johnny,
Yeah.
Oh Johnny O, okay, I would be on a page and I would go back through my book. Well, I'd see something that it gave me an idea that I either didn't like and wanted to redo eyes, or I wanted to redo stuff. Well, when I was waiting on the slack times, a lot of times, I would keep it here like this, and I would go back and I would draw, or I would draw here, and then if I hear her come back on, I would just right away, I would write down what I heard there so that I could turn back.
Okay.
And sometimes when I turned back, I'd have to go, you know,
You'd have to
the
flip
next
it, and
page.
you'd be missing stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's what
Yeah.
that is. And
It's interesting that you wrote KGMB in all capital letters. Do you have any
Well-
idea what KGMB is?
no, but when I get letters all together like that, I always do them that way. It's just part of usually like ABC or something.
Mhm.
You when you get letters like that all at one time,
Mm-hmm.
you just write them down that way.
And then there's a 3105 on there too.
Yeah.
And there's something else on there too. Go ahead.
That now like a 305, 3105.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a 3-1 and a hesitant 05.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a dot for hesitation.
Hmm.
She didn't say dot,
Okay.
if that.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's another mark on there that's curious. What's this here?
is that UH? No. UH.
Does that look like an H, the way you make an H?
At that time, it could be.
Let's see if we can find a capital H someplace in your notes.
Okay.
Printed.
This is mostly all written.
Yeah, it's all cursive. Really not.
But that's the way I make an H a lot of times. If
That's an H, then that's, and whatever that is, it almost has to be made that side up. And there are drawings on the page that are that side up, so
Yeah.
that you could have had the page turned that way.
yeah.
Turned that way, it looks like 1, 1, and then a colon, which is the way you write time. So if that was 1, 1, colon, 0, 0, it would say, oh, you wrote 11 o'clock. I mean, that would
Yeah.
be easy. But it looks like 1, 1, H.
That's the way I used to a lot of times, and still do once in a great while, make my H with that.
Okay. But I wonder what it means.
I don't know. Is the pencil about the same as that 3105?
In my photocopy or scan, it looks that way. What's it?
See,
Yeah,
it looks.
it
about-
does. It
uh-huh.
does.
Now this is different. This is Oh Johnny. Oh, that's a song.
Johnny One Note.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, when I would be sitting up, if I ran out of space, I'd turn. See, I've
Sure.
turned a lot at times
Sure.
like that. And but that's what I'd say that is. I always have
Yeah.
wanted to an ending to it, like
Yeah.
It doesn't really bear thinking about too much.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. You've known something for a long time that a lot of people need to know. And it's time it came out.
Thanks a lot.
We'll do our best to.
Like I told John, I can hear her. I can hear her yet, you know, when I'm talking about